Hi, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. Today we've got another journey into one of these no-name reels. In this case, it kind of mimics Shimano, but it's not. It's a Shinova. And, well, this is a reel that a friend of mine gave me. Said it has no instant anti-reverse as it claims. I said it probably doesn't have the number of bearings it claims either. It's a 10 plus 1 ball bearing reel, and without the anti-reverse. We've worked the switch both ways. That's not working. So the thought here is that it's going to be one of two things. It's either going to be a bad instant anti-reverse bearing, or it's going to be a spring that connects those two with that override switch that may not be functioning either. Well, we're going to take the reel apart. We'll see what the issue is with that. We're also going to see if they really do have 10 ball bearings in this reel, plus the 1. It's always interesting to see. All right, we've removed this spool, which somehow has a lot of tangled up line. This is the shim that raises the height of the spool to make sure that your line gathers correctly. And this is your spool noisemaker ratchet. You can see the little bent wire under here, which is going to make a click when your drag is out. All right, well, it's interesting that we have that little connector there, and we have all of this line that was running on the other side of that. All right, we're going to take this spool for now, put that into the basket there to protect it. And I guess we can continue either way with this. We're going to remove the handle first. We'll remove the bottom of the reel, come up, remove the top. Get ourselves to investigate this reel. See how it's made. I believe it's made in China. And there's no indication. When I take the handles off, I like to put the screw right back into the handle shaft so that I don't lose it. And I like to put my pieces and parts into a parts tray. Well, if you like these kinds of videos, I want to encourage you to subscribe to my channel. If you do subscribe to my channel, I want to encourage you to use that notification button. That will let you know when I'm posting videos. And, well, you can see if it's a video you would like to learn more about. I work on all kinds of reels. Today I'm working on, well, just what I call an Amazon reel. And Amazon reels generally are names you're not familiar with that have no product support. That's kind of how I've sort of defined my version of an Amazon reel. Take pictures. You're not going to find things like schematic diagrams. You're probably not going to find parts support. But if you take the pictures, that's going to be a good reference point for you. So one of the things you want to note is screws. This one is a broader screw than the one over here. Let's see what we have down below here. And this one is a smaller screw. So you have small screw, thin screw, broader screw. If you were just randomly taking these out, you might find yourself in a little bit of trouble when it comes time to reassemble. Let's see if we can get the case off now, see what's underneath here. Well, we got one ball bearing. That's always a good sign. Where they're hiding the other 11, or I'm sorry, it's a 10 plus 1. Well, we've yet to find that out. All right, we're going to take the screw out of the crosswind block. While I have this out, we're just going to trust that we'll be able to fix the situation with the crosswind block there. So I'm trying to find my oiler. I'll just leave that on the side. Eventually that oiler will show up. There it is. There's an oiler and there's 2 shim washers. So I'm going to oil the bearing and let that seep in. We've taken the screw out of the crosswind block so we can remove the axle shaft. And we should be able to remove the main gear. This one's totally dry. So the fella said he didn't have it that long, so I don't know why it might be that dry, but it is. I have a bearing in the back. That's number 2 for those keeping score. I don't know how these manufacturers get away with the claims that they have right there in bold-face print. They're just plain incorrect. Okay. Write this this down as another fabrication. Oscillation gear is out, axle shaft is out, main gear is out. Let's come up top now and find out what that problem is with the anti-reverse. As you can see, I'm working with a micro screwdriver here. Doesn't hurt to have a pack of micro screwdrivers around, because a lot of the pieces and parts that are on these wheels are smaller pieces. This one's just a simple Harbor Freight edition. Comes in a case just like this, and it's just not that expensive. It's a good thing to have. All right, this is a reverse threaded nut. Bring the axle off, and here's what the issue is. They've lost the spring. Oh no, what has happened here? There should be a spring from here to this little clip here. Yep, that's what it is. They've lost the spring. Well, I've jury-rigged springs like this in the past, and we'll try that again to see if we can't make that work the way it should. Okay, let's just take this off, clean this up. Again, it's an examination here. Well, we got the +1, so far we have 2 side case bearings. We know we have the anti-reverse. So we're going to see if we have one. We should have one on this pinion gear as well. We'll see. It's always interesting how these things kind of work out, right? I'm just surprised that they get away with the number of bearings. Maybe there's one in this line guide. It doesn't look like it. It looks like a solid molded piece. Just don't know. All right, let's pull this up and out. Well, no surprise there, is there? All right. This is the carrier. And what's the surprise here? There's no bearing in it. It's a big old... Oh, wait a minute. Yep, small bearing. Okay. So we got 3 bearings. All right. That goes in. Bring this back in. I think this is a good place to try and put that spring on, get all that other stuff out of the way. I'm going to go to my spring box here. It's basically got a lot of things like a Penn Jigmaster springs for the anti-reverse dog. That's kind of what I'm thinking might work. If I can find one of them. Yeah, this is a spring from a Penn Jigmaster. It's the anti-reverse spring. Generally what I do is I use that one little loop on the one side, because that should come over. And then what I want to do here is I want to see, looks like I leave about 3 or 4 loops, snip that, and just bend the other part down. That generally will fix this. Okay, well I found it, and this is what I've fashioned. I have a small one, a couple of loops, and another one to attach to the other side. Let's see if we can get that on here now. This is kind of a bush fix. Not ideal for anybody who's got hands the size of mine, but we're trying. Let's use that little pliers. Let's bring it around to one side. See if we can set that on the other. Kind of glad I'm doing it over this. Well, I had to take it off and put it back on a couple of different ways, but there we go. That should work now. We've modified that spring. We've got it hooked over both edges. Should hold. Now there's dirt on here as well. So you want to make sure that you clean that off. We've oiled the top bearing. A bit of grease on the bottom. And we can install this. Bring that in, seat that into the case. Now, I don't think there was a specific side to this, so I'll just bring this plate over. Make sure that all the holes line up. And get started doing this. There's 3 of those screws we want to put back in now. That'll hold the assembly down. So how do you go from a claim of 10 ball bearings to something a lot less than that? I don't know. But chances are there's nobody that's going to answer a customer service call. So I guess I don't have to worry about that. All right. Put that back together. Let's put the rotor back on. Remember, this was reverse threaded, so you want to go to tighten it. You want to bring it back in a counterclockwise manner. If my hand's in the way, I apologize, but bring that counterclockwise. For those that were in the analog clock business, line that up. Get your screw tie down. That spins nice and easy. Bring that tie down in. I might as well complete the service of the reel. Like I said, it was a buddy of mine who asked me if I couldn't see if I could fix that anti-reverse. I thought it would make a good topic for the videos, so that's why we're doing one of these. And if you have a topic that you would like to suggest as something that might be valuable, please leave those suggestions in the comment section. I'll try to accommodate you if the reel is around, if the topic is something I haven't covered before. I'd be happy to do that for you. He didn't say what he paid for this. Okay, next up then is the crosswind block. Again, we want to make sure that we get the greases on here. A little bit of grease onto the face of that crosswind block. Even on these reels, I only recommend using fishing reel grease. I just find too many reels with general household greases. I find reels with automotive greases. Just fishing reel grease is not that expensive, and it's generally very available. You can get it online in an ounce container for just a few dollars. It's well worth using greases that are designed for that purpose. We did put some grease onto the shaft. I'm going to merge the shaft in with the crosswind block. I'm just grabbing the screw that belongs in that crosswind block. And you can see how the micro screwdrivers are better suited for this. That hole is not aligned. Okay, let's bring that down. So it is a basic reel. Again, I just can't get over when they tell you it's something that it isn't. Just, I guess I don't like being lied to. Alright, let's get this in here. There we go. That took longer than it should have. Here's our case. We have the shim washers that go onto the main gear. Behind that, the bearing. The bearing's been oiled. Screws. Coming back from where we started. I almost made the mistake there. This belongs here. Remember we said thick, thin, and short. I knew that didn't look right. All right, bring this one back on. This is the more stout one. Always use the right tip. Match your slots and your screws with the proper tool. If your tool is undersized, you risk butterflying or stripping the slots, so always match that up as best you can. And we have our bump guard here. Bump guard screw. Handle. Handle screw. Spool. Oop. That was an oops. Click ratchet. Spool height adjuster washers. Spool. Drag tensioner. See how we did. All right. Let's flip our switch. There we go. We have an instant anti-reverse with that spring fix. I wouldn't recommend kind of flipping this back and forth. Once you get it to hold, I would probably leave it there because of the way that I fabricated that thing. But it will work, and I don't see any reason why that spring is going to shoot off of there. Don't know how the other one managed to get crumbled, how it shot off, or even where it is, but it wasn't inside the reel. Well, I hope you've enjoyed that. So that was an inside look at another Amazon reel with another claim that is not substantiated. It only has the 3+1 that we saw. Maybe there's one on the line roller. Doesn't feel like there's one in the handle. I don't know where you would hide the other 6 or 7 of them. All right, but it can go fishing again, and that's the whole idea of the channel, to give these reels a second chance. I hope you've enjoyed that. Before I leave, I want to thank our first responders, our police, fire, safety, rescue, everybody involved in keeping us out of harm's way. I want to thank you, the viewer, for watching and for encouraging the encouragement that you provide, and well, just the community that has evolved as a result of this. This is Dennis with Second Chance Taco, wishing everybody a great day.